Paltrocast. Well, the first question I have for you, Samantha, looking at your Instagram account, am I allowed to call you Sammy? Are you Sam, Sammy, or Samantha?
I am all of the above, but mostly I'm Sam or Sammy. Mostly it's just the IRS or IMDb that calls me Samantha.
Or your residual checks.
Right. And aren't we glad that it does?
So this is a unique film in a lot of ways. First, in speaking with some of the people that you worked on it with, long-term collaborators who genuinely like each other. That alone is pretty distinct. Another thing is it's award-winning before it came out. Really distinct as well, because I know it did the festival circuit. It won a best cinematography, a best screenplay here and there. But it's a new movie to me. So how long has, from your perspective, because I got different answers from different people, how long has it been done for?
Sorry, you broke up right there. How long has...
When did you actually finish the film?
We shot for 23 days in June of 2021. We went into edit after that, and the edit took us all the way until around November, beginning of December of that year. It played the festival circuit for a year. We have continued. So I think the reason you're getting interesting answers on this is that we've continued to keep tweaking, keep playing. You know, I think the magic of a festival circuit is that you get it. Again, I'm a theater kid, so it felt like a year of previews. You know, like you kept getting you get to go back and rehearse. You got to keep tweaking things. You got to keep playing with things. We learned more and more and more about the movie while sharing it with audiences, especially in a movie like this, which is in some ways not traditional. It's experiential. It was enormously helpful for us to get audience feedback on it. So we kept going back in and playing with stuff.
You're a theater kid, yet you went to the New York Film Academy, and we've seen you on Showtime and Netflix shows. So you're kind of hard to pigeonhole as to which genre or medium you're best seen in.
Yep. That's sort of the goal, Darren. I mean, Daniel and I met as acting students at Juilliard in New York City, which is a very traditional acting program. I had purple hair and black nails, and so did Daniel. I'm wearing a Harley Davidson t-shirt. Like, you know, I was in ripped up overalls and combat boots. We were not the traditional kind of Shakespearean actors that maybe were normal for those halls. And we found each other really early, and we're like, let's make weird art. And also let's do Shakespeare, you know? So like, I think from the beginning, that duality was there. And I think I have hunted that in my own profession as an actress. You know, I think part of what I love about being an actress is that, you know, these projects don't last forever. So you get to be in this reality for a chunk of months, and now you're in a totally different reality. So if I could go from like extreme to extreme, that was the career I wanted. And I think I will blame Scott Frank, who was the creator of Godless, for tapping me on the shoulder while I was standing in Video Village in New Mexico while we were filming Godless. And he was like, you know, most other actors are in their trailers, and you are bugging the film crew about what lens we're in. I think maybe that you should look into learning more about film. And my dad is a documentary filmmaker. So I think for many years, he's been like, when is this going to happen? Like, come back over to the right side here. So, you know, as I said, I trained as an actress at Juilliard a million years ago. And then at the beginning of the pandemic, when my acting work shut down, all of a sudden there was I think the pump was primed to get more education. And the New York Film Academy was one of the first that got up and got online, and there were intensive classes that I signed up for by June of 2020. And Piero Basso, who is our cinematographer and a brilliant human being, artist and teacher, was my cinematography professor.
Wow, small world. Not naming names, but before you mentioned the duality of it all with the purple hair and the black nail polish, and I had the pleasure of interviewing one of your cohorts earlier who had a Motorhead poster on that side and a Van Halen poster on the other side.
Yeah, which I think I maybe know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, in general, I think that you are an interesting collective that does both highbrow and lowbrow.
Yeah. I think I think we have champagne tastes, but we also really like a burger and fries. You know what I mean? Like, Yeah, I want a really, nice piece of art, but like, I also like my pickup truck, like we're sort of, that's kind of who we are. And I think that's why we love working together, because both things are present. And I think that's kind of what this movie is like, I experience the world as being kind of liquid, like it's weather, it's electric storm. It's like, in the course of your day, it's really human, I think, to fall down the rabbit hole of certain things. And then you're back up and you're back on your feet and it's okay. And then you turn a corner and the day changes again. And so often I think story wants to sort of button it up and tidy it up and make it a proper sort of 3 structure act. And I was like, but that's not what it feels like to be a person. I feel like I'm tumbling down the landslide of reality, and you're like trying to grab onto the side of the cliff. And so we wanted to talk about that in terms of what's it like right now. We came up with this as a project during COVID, and we were all struggling with fear and isolation, and talking about the fact that as a culture, we don't have a lot of bandwidth for that. We're not great at it, Darren. Like we get scared when someone else is in pain and we run away, And I think if we could build a little bit more robustness for discomfort, a little bit more robustness for unknown, a little bit more robustness for the non-binary nature of what it feels like to be you or to be me. Like I'm not all one thing, one at a time. We're all kinds of weird things. And can we ask an audience to come together and root for a character in all of his stuff? He's both moving and beautiful and also very messed up. And how do we sit with that? And how do we make space to go like, it's okay. And I see you. And maybe I got stuff too, and like, how do we
I got stuff too.
room? Yeah. I mean, I think that's what Merritt, the brilliant Merritt Weaver, does so beautifully in this tiny, little arc in this story. She is the voice who says, I see you. And I recognize that you're in trouble because maybe I'm in trouble too. And I think maybe the thing that might save both of our lives is just to say, hi, I see you. And like, maybe let's go for a walk. It's really pretty outside. Let's just go for a walk. And like, maybe that's it. Maybe that's as good as it gets. We like can help each other out in these little kindnesses.
Well said. I'm not going to top that. So instead I'll go with a lowbrow question before I let you go. And that's in speaking
AC/DC, I see you.
AC/DC sold at, I think, Old Navy nowadays. So we do the Old Navy and the designer stuff. You got to go both ways.
Right. It's what it is.
Yeah. You have a dry cleaner and you do your own laundry. You do it both.
Here. Yeah, right.
Exactly. Are we allowed to know what's next from you, where to look for you next? Or do we just have to keep checking the Sammygram?
Please do both. We're going back in for season 4 of Outer Banks on Netflix. So we'll be back in Charleston shooting that. All strikes dependent. We are in the middle of really fighting for our profession in this moment, both in the WGA and in SAG-AFTRA and the DGA. It's an exciting moment on the front.
Yeah.
But I will hopefully be going back to work with that crew. I really love that crew. I love being on that set. Daniel and I have another collaboration with a bunch of other artists. We thought it was real fun doing it with 2. Let's do it with 7. So we upped it and have created this really joyful, loving, colorful, very different from Midday film called Ain't It Though? And we're in edit for that at the moment. But yeah, keep checking back with us. We're on all of the medias.
Sounds good. I mean, I had the pleasure of interviewing Chase Stokes, but it was on a Morningstar Farms junket. So
amazing.
You're going, how are you doing? Well, thanks to the fine folks at Morningstar Farms. I'm great. I look forward to getting you on one of those in the near future, Sam.
I look forward to it too, Darren. Chase is a love, isn't he?
Yeah, nice dude, to say the least. But
super nice.
Thank you for your time. I'm really looking forward to Ain't It, Outer Banks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Keep up all the greatness out there.
Thanks so much. Really pleasure to meet you.
Paltrocast.